Welcome to the safety training for the month of July for JCI Industries. I realize that we're not getting this to the first part of August. Due to some scheduling conflict, we were not able to get it out in a timely manner, so thank you for participating. We will have another safety training for the month of August, but this month we're going to focus on near misses, incident reporting, and JSAs. It's very important that as we have our safety process, that we're able to communicate things that are incidents that are near misses, not just waiting until an accident happens, to be able to keep us working in a safe manner. We'll be watching a video and we'll discuss a couple different things and a couple different forms that we're going to make available, and that I really encourage that we start using it in part of our process, not just here at the main facility, but all of our facilities, to be able to investigate and communicate different job hazards that we incur and experience, so that we're able to reduce any potential hazards here at JCI. We'll watch this video and review those forms immediately afterwards. Thank you.
If you believe that sign, you believe that 2 million man-hours have gone by without anyone on these premises having an accident. But the sign is wrong. Very wrong. 2 million man-hours have gone by without having an injury, not without an accident.
What, injury, accident? What's the difference, huh? Mock Snicks, same thing?
Wrong again. In reality, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of accidents at this facility. But because they didn't result in injuries, they weren't reported. And the unsafe conditions that led to the accidents probably still exist. Let's take a look behind this sign and find out what's really going on here. Early in the day, people began arriving at work. And early in the day, the accidents began. Even managers have to be careful.
Great way to start the day. Break the leg, you have to shoot me.
Hey, Mr. Riftman.
Oh, hey, good morning. How are you, huh?
Morning, good.
Maintenance slip. Oh, this hose just right here, huh?
You okay?
Hey, great. No injury, no accident, right? That's it. Yep. Oh, got it all. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Work is just getting started when Smitty loses his wrench and drops it from the high walk.
Watch it.
Good thing it was his buddy Ben below. Someone else might not be so reasonable. It's still early when Sarah is trying to work and talk on the phone at the same time. Watch out, the beaker is boiling over. It's a mess, but just salt water this time. The previous sample was acid. Must be Sarah's lucky day. Then there was the truck that almost got away.
Oh my God! Stop! Stop that truck! Watch out! Stop it! Watch out!
And the wheelbarrow that met an obstacle. A hard hat saves the day and Harley's head, at least for now. A flammable liquid almost finds a flame.
Oh! Hey!
Almost Lenny, but not this time. What would a quart of hot coffee have felt like on Fran's legs? Marcus is just going to be a minute here. No need to lock the door. Here's another accident waiting to happen. Many more lifts like that and Denise will be in for back surgery. A slippery surface provides a close call for Jerry. Marcus and Jim lucked out, along with all the other near-miss victims from today's no-injury accidents. Each of these incidents was an accident, plain and simple, but because no injuries resulted, their safety message was ignored. Suppose a metal rod has been carelessly left protruding across an entranceway. This is an unsafe condition. If a worker sees the rod and steps aside, no accident occurs, but the unsafe condition remains. Now suppose another worker, one who is preoccupied, approaches the entrance. This is an unsafe act. Combined with the unsafe condition, boom, you've got the perfect recipe for an accident. Take another example. Suppose a forklift operator has a habit of rounding a corner at excessive speed. This is an unsafe act. If it happens when another person is walking by, the unsafe act or near miss becomes an accident. It may result in no injury, a minor injury such as a bruise, a major injury like a broken leg, or damage to property or equipment. In any case, it is an accident, and unless its cause, an unsafe driver, is corrected, it will happen again, eventually with serious results. Since we can't predict which accidents will cause serious injuries and which won't, our goal is to eliminate accidents altogether. A theory about how accidents relate to injuries was first illustrated by W.H. Heinrich. He studied 330 similar accidents. Of the 330 accidents, Heinrich found that 300 of them resulted in no injury at all. He also saw that 29 of the accidents resulted in minor injury, scrapes, bruises, and bumps, and only one of the 330 accidents caused a serious or fatal injury. The good news about the Heinrich Triangle is that your chances of being seriously injured or killed in a workplace accident is 1 in 330. The bad news is that each one of the 330 accidents has a similar cause. And in order to eliminate the chance of the one serious accident happening, you've got to eliminate the chance of all 330 accidents happening. Each non-injury accident is a warning to us that an accident with injuries is possible, even likely to occur. In fact, the only difference between a no-injury accident and a fatality is often just a matter of luck. The causes of the two accidents are the same. Let's look at the positive side of no-injury accidents. They give us a free warning. They give us a glimpse of what could happen if we don't act now. Taking advantage of the free warning that no-injury accidents provide involve 3 steps: reporting the accident, investigating its causes, and eliminating its causes. Let's study these steps more closely. Reporting an accident first means realizing that it happened. It's a good idea to stop for a moment each day and practice incident recall. Ask yourself, what free warnings did I receive today? Your experience may alert a co-worker to a similar hazard. You can also bring up your observations in a safety meeting. But when an accident happens, don't wait for a safety meeting to report it. By then, a no-injury accident may have produced more serious results. Try to practice reporting and recalling accidents. This is the first step toward accident reduction. The next step is to figure out what may have caused the accident. According to statistics, very few, perhaps 2% of accidents are truly unpreventable, what we sometimes call acts of God. Many more, perhaps 10%, are caused by unsafe conditions such as sharp edges, hot surfaces, or trip hazards. But by far the most frequent cause of accidents is the unsafe acts of people on the job. Your best bet is to examine how people on the job contribute to an accident's cause. People like the inattentive lab worker or the careless driver. Then look for the presence of unsafe conditions like the metal rod or the object in the walkway. In many cases, a combination of various unsafe acts and unsafe conditions will be involved. Once you know the cause of the accident, the final step is to eliminate that cause from the workplace. Removing unsafe conditions is one way to take action against accidents. This is an important part of the job, but the real challenge is to remove the unsafe acts of people. It may mean a change in your own behavior, the way you go about your job. Have you been getting away with an unsafe practice for years? If so, what kind of guarantee do you have your luck will hold out even for another minute? To illustrate the random nature of workplace accidents, we'll fill a jar with 330 pills. 300 of them are sugar pills, like the accidents that cause no injury or damage. 29 of the pills contain a strong laxative, like the accidents that cause minor injury or damage. And one pill, one that looks just like the others, contains arsenic. Ignoring no injury accidents is like passing this jar around each day at work. Chances are when you take a pill, it will be made of sugar and you'll be just fine. But if you keep passing the jar around, sooner or later someone will get the one with the laxative. And eventually, maybe now, maybe next time, someone will get the arsenic. Nobody knows which pill it will be. Common sense tells you that the only way to avoid disaster is to stop passing that jar around. So what have we learned from our look behind this safety sign? The most important thing is this: there's no such thing as a minor accident. The same accident that causes no injury today may take someone's life tomorrow. If we fail to remove the cause from the no injury accident, then we fail to remove the cause from the accident that does result in injury. Accidents without injuries are like free warnings, a chance to redeem ourselves before the worst happens. Now you'll have a chance to put these ideas to work before this day is out. Start right now by remembering the last non-injury accident you had, determining its causes, and taking action to remove or correct them. Look beneath the surface of your facility today. How many unsafe conditions have gone unnoticed? How many no-injury accidents are ignored? And how many excuses like these will you hear before the luck runs out?
I forgot.
I just didn't see it. That's somebody else's fault.
While the movie used the term non-injury accident, we use the term near miss. So what is a near miss? A near miss is both an accident, but both are incidents. Both a near miss and an accident are an incident. But unlike an accident, a near miss is an incident that did not result in a fatality, an injury, or a property damage. It also can be called a near hit or a close call. Near misses are really good because they can provide information of hazards that are not common. That's why reporting near misses are very, very important. You know, I know a lot of times that when we share something that happened to us or something that we do, oftentimes, things are our own fault when near misses happen. And sometimes those things can be embarrassing and we can feel foolish, but it's really important that when we share those things so we can put things to the forefront of our mind. Again, I think I shared this in a previous video, but I remember an individual was sharing with me how they were cutting something and accidentally realized had a knife slip and almost cut themselves, and said, I felt like a dummy because I was cutting toward myself with something I know better than doing. And I said, well, did you share that with anybody else? No, not really, and because I felt like a dummy. But those kind of things, you know, even though you're putting yourself and you're exposing yourself out there to share those type of things, next time someone else grabs that knife and then they remember that story, they're going to think about that as well, and it's going to be on the forefront of their mind. That's why sharing near misses are important. You know, we as a company, you know, do not want to, we do not penalize for sharing things of this nature. And so it's really important that, you know, we do an atmosphere or a environment of safety, that we share all these things so we can work safe. Accidents are something that cause either fatality or an injury, illness, or property damage, where a near miss is just something that is a close call. Another thing that is a difference is a third thing is an observation. A lot of times, you know, as we look at different things around our facilities and different situation environments and jobs we're getting ready to do, we create observations. And again, there's several tools that we're going to introduce that are available on the J Drive, and we're going to provide after this training to your supervisor, and that are JSAs and incident reports. What is a JSA? A JSA is a job safety analysis, and it's something that we use prior to doing a job to look for any safety hazards. And it's something that has been provided in the past that we need to start using on a more frequent basis. You know, oftentimes we can become comfortable in our jobs and do something many times without stopping and taking the risks. And sometimes, you know, as we work safely, it may not necessarily affect us individually, but doing those JSAs and communicating those different things can also help our fellow employees in training times. A near miss is an active circumstances, and it fortunately does not result in an injury. But an observation is a passive circumstance. It's a situation that talks about possible behaviors or conditions that have potentially could cause an adverse event. But again, the reporting of both is very important to have a safe working environment. So here's an example real quickly to talk about what the difference is. Let's say, for example, a worker enters a facility with snowy boots. On those boots, the snow melts off those boots and creates a wet floor. You may see water and realize that it could potentially cause a slip or a fall. That's an observation. But if someone slips on that water, but nothing happens, no injury, that's a near miss. But if someone slips and falls and there's an injury, that's an accident. So it's really important as we talk this morning or in this time with this video that you use those two different forms. First of all, let's look at a JSA real quickly. I know that they're on the J Drive. There's one set up for each individual shop, so you can report that. But throughout the week, let's begin to take time. I'm going to talk to the supervisors and put some things out there we can start doing through our toolbox talks, taking time to go over some JSAs. But it's pretty self-explanatory. Talks about the overall review of the things. Talk about any possible hazards, hazard control methods. Again, the link to this we'll actually provide with the training, so everybody can actually see this. You'll get a copy of this as well. What we're about ready to do, how someone could potentially get hurt, how we assure that no one gets hurt, and the workers that were involved in this JSA. And it gives good feedback on ways to potentially work safely and the thought process. I know our field service group does this before every job, and have been turning these in and doing a great job. And awesome if we could continue to do this in all of our shops. Secondly, let's talk about the incident report. And we'll pull that up right here. Incident investigation reform. Reported by the data report, the employee in the role, where it happened, and all the PPE and the different things that are involved. Incident description, what the circumstances were, and as you'll fill that out, we can do that. So it'll be something like this. The first thing we'll do, when you have a near miss, contact your supervisor. Your supervisor will, you and your supervisor together will fill out that form and get it, all the details filled in. Once the details are filled in, the supervisor will send that form to me, and we'll go over that form. The safety group will go over that form and then share that with all employees to get the education out there. At any time, if you need me to be a part of that process, especially at the beginning, to be able to talk about root causes and things of the nature of the incident, we'll work on that as well. So it's really important because education prevents future accidents and injuries. So as we begin to build our safety culture there, this will be a key part in working safely and continue to working safely. Again, I just want to emphasize, having a near miss is not anything directly pointed towards you, and we should not think less of ourselves or anybody upon each other as we're reporting those things. In fact, it should be encouraged. And I would like to even see as someone begins to share these things, we'll just continue to grow as a company. And I really appreciate you taking the time to do this observation this week. Again, we'll be reaching out to the supervisors to make sure that their JSAs and the incident reports are readily available, and do a little bit of training with the supervisors on how to make this happen and make this part of our weekly toolbox and daily toolbox talks. Appreciate your time doing the safety this week, and we have a great month.